In today's video, I'm going to go through a few things that are going to help you take your forehand flick to a next level. A lot of players weaken their forehand flick by simply not being in the right position to play the shot. So basically, to get the right positioning, it goes like this. You want to have a low center of gravity, keep your knees bent, engage your legs, and then once the serve or the short ball comes at you, you want to step in to wherever the ball is with your right foot. So if it's coming towards the middle, I'll step in more like this. And if it's coming more towards the wide forehand, then I'm going to step more towards that area. But during this time, you want your upper body to be compact. Keep your chest close to where you're hitting the ball. You don't want to be too far away like this. You lose control this way. You want to be compact, go to the ball, flick. A key part of getting into position is not only getting into position, but also being ready and being in the right state to play the shot. And this involves not holding the racket too tightly. If you hold it too stiff, it's going to be too rigid. You can't play a high quality stroke, which I'll speak about in a second, how to generate power and spin, but you can't do any of that if you have a tight grip when you're doing the shot. So the next thing we have to look at is this massive misconception that the forehand flick is like a forehand topspin above the table. Like, people are doing massive shots. What the forehand flick is a flick. It's a very short, fast movement with quick acceleration. Keep your forehand flick action and motion in control. It doesn't need to be a forehand topspin above the table. It needs to be a flick. How do you do the backhand flick? You don't do the backhand flick like this. It's the same thing here. Nice and compact. Before we move on, I also want to discuss brushing the ball. A lot of people that I coach see me slapping their short serves away. That's because they're high. You can't do this with lower serves. This is why it's important that you get a little bit of brush to create the dip and the arc over the table. A little bit like a forehand topspin. If you try and hit the ball at a very low position, then you're going to have very little margin for error. So it's important that you include this little brushing motion. Make sure you generate topspin. So the next thing I want to discuss in relation to the forehand flick is the contact points. So there's 5 contact points in table tennis. Which one do you use for the forehand flick? Point 1, literally right off the bounce. 2, a little later. 3, at the peak of the bounce. 4, coming down. And 5, about to come fully down. For the forehand flick, a lot of people rush the ball and hit it at point 2. If you're hitting it at point 1, that's just ridiculous. You can't get the ball over the net. Point 2 is still too early. You don't have the clearance over the net. But the best place to hit it is point 3, the top of the bounce. When you have the most clearance over the net, this is the best place. If it's too early, it's going into the net every time. If it's too late, there's just not enough power on it. You have to, flick it over. But when it's at the golden sweet spot, then you can go boom. The last thing you can focus on to make your forehand flick significantly better is placement. This is so underrated. If you flick the ball back onto the table and that's all you do, it's just back onto the table, you don't really know what you're giving to the opponent. Your opponent doesn't really know. And you know all that, the shot is just not that high quality and they can get it back. But if you have a clear intention of where you're going to hit the ball, for example, wide to the forehand, you can stretch your opponent out and exploit the other side of the table. One thing that I like to do a lot is I'll catch so many people out just doing a forehand flick deep to their backhand. It's so easy. They do their serve, they wait a little bit, and then because they've already kind of stepped in, boom, deep to the forehand, weak return, smash for me. So yeah, you need to focus and put more attention onto the placement. It can be something as simple as just aiming for the body. Try to make it that little bit harder for your opponent. But yeah, if you can go wide to the forehand, wide to any corner for that matter, that's going to help. You can exploit the other side. You can really try and exploit the deep backhand. This works a lot, especially on the forehand flick. Now the final thing, guys, commit to the forehand flick. There's no half forehand flicks here, guys. If we're not fully committed to playing the right shot, then the ball's just going to go into the net or it's going to fly off the end of the table. You need precision with this shot, and you can't have precision if you don't have intention. So yeah, remember, when you go in, you go in. You get the shot done, you do your best. If you do a half flick, you're giving your opponent a direct loose ball which they're going to whack at you. So do not do that, alright? Anyways, that's all I have for you guys today. I hope you guys liked this video, were helped by it, and yeah, I'll see you guys another day.